Kate Carter is an aspiring tornado hunter in Oklahoma. Or at least she was until an experiment goes wrong, leading to the death of her friends. 5 years since that day, she gets word that Oklahoma is once again getting hit by some of the worst tornadoes in its history. When she returns home to help, she's greeted by Tyler Owens, a loud and obnoxious internet personality who seems to only value tornadoes for content. The competing storm chasers soon come face to face with the mother of all tornadoes, and Kate must overcome her trauma to save the civilians. This is Twisters. Twisters is the, and I'm only assuming here, long-awaited and long-demanded sequel to 1996's Twister. Yes, this film does the same thing James Cameron did with Aliens and just put an S on the end of the title from the first movie. But if the rumors are true, James Cameron actually just wrote a $sign at the end of Alien. I like to imagine the same thing happened in the pitch room for this movie, but instead of James Cameron, it was Glen Powell. But I can see why 1996's Twister was such a big hit. It was a revolutionary film at the time, and to a lot of people in Middle America especially, it was really interesting. But considering actors like Bill Paxton and Philip Seymour Hoffman have sadly passed away, why are they doing a sequel now? Oh, wait, I already answered my own question. And perhaps there is some truth to that, but to Twister's credit, this is still a pretty entertaining film. I would go as far as to say it takes the concept of the original and almost perfects it. Leading this film is Daisy Edgar-Jones, Glen Powell, and Anthony Ramos. Jones and Powell definitely have the Helen Hunt and Bill Paxton roles in this film, except they're gender swapped, so this movie is automatically woke. But that doesn't mean they don't give some really solid performances. I was a big fan of Glen Powell's character. Not only is the Arkansas representation and not a douchebag, but what I really appreciated was that his character was an internet personality, and that really opened the door for a lot of clever scenes with the character. But if they really wanted to get realistic with the YouTuber stuff, they would have had a scene where Tyler Owens goes to tornado wreckage, finds a dead body while wearing a Toy Story alien hat. That would have been the most realistic thing in this movie. Don't you think it's funny that the degree of separation between the 1996 film and this film is just Spy Kids 3? Fascinating stuff, isn't it? And Anthony Ramos was good in the film, but I felt like his performance was just the same performance from In the Heights. I was half expecting him to start singing and dancing alongside the tornadoes. I wouldn't put it past the movie. If there is one thing the 1996 film really succeeded with, it was making the tornadoes feel real. So this film definitely had some big shoes to fill. And did it succeed? Oh yeah. This is the definitive Middle America disaster movie, because the threat of the natural disaster feels real, and the characters in the scenes feel real too. What really helps is that this film matches the death count of the original within the first few minutes. Certain characters' personalities may feel a bit goofy, but at their core, they're still human characters. And you really feel that in the tornado destruction scenes. And of course, the tornado destruction scenes look and sound amazing. It really reminded me why disaster films were so popular. Because I'll be honest, I never really got into disaster movies, but also, I think that's because I get enough destruction in my comic book movies. I will completely own up to that. Also, this film is not directed by Roland Emmerich, so it's automatically better for that reason. Now, when I say this film takes the concept of the original and perfects it, I mean that in every way. It's almost a film comparable to Top Gun Maverick. But unlike Top Gun Maverick, though, this film does not differentiate enough from the original. There are plenty of scenes in this movie that feel like the same scene from the original, with just a little bit of a tweak to it. Aside from Tyler Owens being a YouTube content creator and some of the tech they use, there is not much in this film that truly feels different from the original, even though I think it's executed much better. I really hope that makes sense because it's the best way I can describe it. For as real as the characters feel during the tornado destruction scenes, what's happening to them isn't realistic in the slightest. But that's kind of these movies' thing. Absurd tornado action and absurd tornado science. Neil deGrasse Tyson would have an aneurysm if he watched this movie. For his own health, do not show him this movie. Funny thing though, all the tornado scenes in this movie are still not as dumb as the tornado scene in Man of Steel. You know, the scene where Pa Kent just stands there as a tornado slowly eats him and his Superman son watches with civilians under an overpass. I don't have a problem with you defending Man of Steel. I have a problem with you defending this scene though. I just realized new Superman's in this movie too. That makes that joke even funnier now. But Twisters really reminded me why disaster films are fun, especially if the threat is something real like tornadoes. And I understand that's not going to be something for everybody, especially if you've lived through tornadoes before. But for all intents and purposes, this is still the definitive Middle America disaster film. It has some great lead characters and performances and some top-notch action scenes. It's a film that'll suck you in and blow you away. If this was a cartoon, I would get hit with spoiled food right now. I hope you all enjoyed this review, and if you did, please consider hitting that like button, and if you want to see more, hit that subscribe button and ring that bell to be notified when my next review drops. Until next time, I'm Quinn Dunaway, hoping you will keep it cinematic!